Hello, this is Eric Mailman. In the last video, I showed you how to create a starter program using the guizero library and the PyCharm development environment. This is a very modest program. All it did was create a window and put some text into it. Now that we've done that, it's time to move forward to a new program that does something more interesting. But I don't want to start from the beginning. I'd rather start from this program and modify it as necessary. So this is how you do that. Click on your program, then right-click and say Copy, choose Copy. Then go back and click on your project folder and select Paste. You then can change the name of your program, and we'll call this program Assignment 2. So now I have a place to start. I probably want to put my name in at this time. This is no longer the starter program. This is now going to do something much more exciting. It's going to greet a person by name. I'm working on this program on August 21st. And this is version 1. I've yet to come up with any need for global constants and global variables, so that section can stay the same. Of course, I want to come in here and change the title to something appropriate. Greet by name. And I might have to come back here later and change the size of the window. As a matter of fact, I know I will. So I'm just going to make a guess at 300 over here. I am going to use a fixed label widget, but now I'm going to use it for a different purpose. I'm going to use it for a prompt. And the prompt is going to say, enter your name below. That means that below, it would be a good idea to have a text box where we can type. So this will be a widget where you can type. That widget, the kind of widget that is called a text box. And we must, inside the parentheses, say the window where that is being created, which will be the APP window. Now what I need is a push button to display a greeting by name. And I can create that by using the push button widget from guizero. In it, I have to tell it always where it is. And if you're a push button widget, you probably want to know what it is that happens when you push the button, and that will be to greet the person by name. Then I need a place to display the greeting. That will also be a text. In that APP window, and maybe I want to make the greeting a different color. So we'll have a color equals and say we want to make it red. Okay. So this is my new application. And while it doesn't do anything yet, it would be a good idea now to try to see what this looks like if we have to change anything before giving some actions in the program. So notice that this says start, but my program is assignment 2. So the way to get that to run assignment 2 the first time only is to right-click and say run. And here's my program. You can see the size is not bad. So here's my text. Here's my place where I can edit type whatever I want, a greet button that does nothing, and a message down here that we can't see yet. So let's make this program come alive. The way to do that is to go to our button, which is there to perform an action, and add something to it, something we haven't seen yet. It's a command statement. And a command statement is the name of a function to run when the button is pushed. We get an error because we haven't written that function yet. Let's talk for a minute what's going to happen when the button is pushed. We're going to read the text out of this text box and assemble a greeting that we're going to put into this text box. Well, if that's what we're going to do, then it's going to be very important to be able to refer to these two widgets by name. We might as well do that now. What I like to do when I'm naming widgets is take about 3 characters to describe what kind of widget it is. It's a text box, and what it does, it holds the name. And then I use the equal sign to make an assignment. So what I've created now is a text box in the APP window that goes by the name tbx_name. That should make it pretty easy for me to remember what it's there for. This one, on the other hand, is the greeting. So we'll call that txt_greeting. And PyCharm expects from styling to have spaces around the equal sign here. It also expects in the parentheses not to have spaces around the equal sign. Go figure. So the thing left to do now is to define this function. And a good question would be, well, where am I going to define it? And it's going to be easier if you define the function within your main function. So we could put a comment that says define a function to greet by name. DEF command, like DEF statement, like we did before. The name of the function, which is going to be greet, we must have the parentheses, and we must have the colon. So that's the way we know we're defining a function. And here's our indentation. Notice that the greet function is defined inside of the main function. That's how it gets its name, an inner function. And there are some advantages to that we'll talk about later. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the name from the text box. And that's going to be a variable, which we'll call name. It can be called whatever you want. And now we have to refer to our text box. And by typing TB or TBX, we'll see that this is the variable that was found, TBX_name. So that's the one we want. But we don't want the widget. We want the value of the text in the widget. So we need to type tbxname.value. Next, we're going to display the greeting message. And that means in the text field, txt.greeting, we're going to change its value to be the word hello, a space, and then we're going to add to that whatever text we found in the name field. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to clear the text box. And that is TBX name. We could say dot value equals nothing, but we also see over here that there's a clear function that we can apply to that. So we're going to do that. So here's my inner function, and I am getting a warning over here. That warning comes from this line. We'll talk more about that some other time, but this is not actually an error. It's a misunderstanding between guizero and PyCharm, so we're going to leave that alone. Now that we've run this once, we can come up here and see we have assignment 2 ready to run. And we just hit the green arrow, and there's our window. Of course, it doesn't look any different than it did before because we already had tested out our setup. Now, when I enter my name or anybody's name here and hit greet, I do get a greeting down here, and the text box itself is cleared. I guess I kind of wish I had chosen a different color maybe for the text box, but that's okay. We can do that next time. So what we've seen here is how to take a starting program that really wasn't good for anything except how it was set up and transform it into a program that actually serves some purpose, although not the biggest purpose in the whole world, I admit. So I hope that helps explain things and it gives you the way to work on your own programs. The trick here is to start by copying your starter program and then renaming it. So we can always go back to the starter program at any point and do this again. Or if this program becomes more valuable to us than the start program, we can start from here, copy it, and create an assignment3.py file. Okay, thank you for your attention. More coming later. Take care. Bye.